If you are ready, we'll start the press conference.
First of all, congratulations to Real Madrid. They were the better team tonight.
Okay, you can continue.
You know, we had moments in the game where we had a chance to perhaps keep it close, and for a good part of the game we did that, but we just didn't do enough things defensively ultimately to compete with Real when they shoot the ball as well as they did, and when they were able to run the ball the way that they did. We, you know, we're at the tail end of a pretty tough stretch. This was our 5th game in the last 9 days, and I thought, particularly in the second half, the fatigue showed. Certainly missing Nicola in our rotation, you know, that caused us problems, and Real took advantage of that.
That's all, coach.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Questions for the coach? Please, your name and the company that you represent, please.
Sure.
Alex Madrid, EuroLeague.
So one second, coach is going to speak in Spanish, so you can use the earphones, okay? Thanks.
Sorry. Yeah, sure, of course.
I would like to take the opportunity that you are here in Madrid to ask, and as you have experience both on the NBA and the EuroLeague, for some statements from your colleague Pesic, I don't know if you heard them, saying that NBA is not basketball and that the EuroLeague is the best basketball in the world. I would like to know your opinion because you've been in both leagues.
I see that, actually. And I'll tell you what I always say regarding that subject. The game in the NBA is different than the game in Europe or the game in the EuroLeague. It's not a matter of what's better or worse or more quality. I don't agree with that particular part of the statement, but I do understand where Coach Pesic, you know, sees a difference in the game, because there is. The games are different, and personally, I experienced that. You know, it's a different kind of basketball. There are different rules. The type of schedule that you have is different. The players and the way that teams are built are different, and the game around the game in the NBA as opposed to Europe is very different. So qualitatively, I would not say that one game is better than the other. Absolutely not. But I do very much recognize and understand where he's coming from in terms of the differences in how the game is played, because it is played very differently under different circumstances, conditions, scheduling, players, rules. So there's a lot of differences.
Coach, one more here on the right.
Sure.
Javier Rodriguez, I would like to ask if you go with the feeling that on days like today's it's really difficult to stop Real Madrid when they have so many ways to score with all their players, guard, shooting guards, forward, any of the players is scoring, so it's really difficult to win.
I'm gonna use my NBA background for a second to answer that question, okay? Some days you come to the gym because of the schedule, for example, and pretty much no matter what you do, you're not going to win the game. That's the reality. When you come to Madrid against a team of this quality that has the kind of capability that they have, and you are tired and fatigued and missing players, unless something truly exceptional happens, you're not going to win. That's the reality. And in a 30-game EuroLeague schedule, you can't have a lot of days like that, but there's going to be a few days like that. And you got to be man enough to look yourself in the mirror and to tell your players, guys, of course we can do better than that, but today was not our day. We got to think about the next day. And, you know, and that's what we're doing. Sure.
Any further questions for the coach? Okay, thank you.
The spin doctors. All right, just do what I do, okay? Just sing this. Let's go.
Good evening again. So we start with assessment from Pablo Lasso and then questions. Good evening. First, to congratulate the team for the win. The first thing you see in the statistics is that you were able to win all the four quarters, and that tells wonders about the team in general ways. Offensively, it was one of the best matches for me. On the way to read the game, to get the ball in and out, find pick and roll, find another assist. Offensively, I believe we had one of the best matches on the season, and probably it was the base of our win. We always talk about defense, of course, which is very important, but attack is also very important, and our offensive numbers are very good today. We had a bit of a problem from the defensive part, especially because they were quite good on the three-pointers, and they managed to get some continuity, which was very simple. But our work made them that regarding the next volume minutes, they wouldn't play so easily. So it was a great match, especially from Jeff Taylor in that sense, that he was able to hold the ball quite well, and they didn't play easily. And in general, we're happy because it was a difficult week. It was Maccabi last week, 4 matches in less than 7 days, 8 days. And it's a win that in the EuroLeague allows us to be on the upper part of the classification. We got the average, although I didn't want to talk about it, but I have to, that we won. So it's another match, so to speak, not with a direct rival, and I'm happy because of the win. Questions for Pablo? Naomi Fernandez, Real Madrid Television. Pablo, good evening. Congratulations for the win. We were having the Palace of Pick appointments. Which you're feeling I had no doubts that we were going to have a great atmosphere in the field, and they were talking about it last week on how the sales tickets were here, and it's normal because it's Real Madrid-Olympiacos and people want to see their team and support their team on big matches like this one. So the answer from the Palace was quite important for my players, so they feel covered, supported, and they play the way they did. So I hope people leave happy with the way we played. Carlos Sanzuela from Onda Madrid. Carlos, you leave here with +7 regarding the 9th, that is on the classification, and +4 plus difference of point with the 5th. What does that tell you? It says that the first goal of being amongst the first 8 is closer and closer. That talks wonders about the team, and the second goal will be to get the advantage and the court factor for the playoffs, which been the first, 4th, and that's also closer. But that's it. I'm happy. Today's situation is good. These days are very important. We were able to get 2 wins, and we approach the future with a good outlook, but knowing that each match in the EuroLeague is complex and difficult, and we have to keep on winning if we want to get to ensure the position in the playoffs. First, I would like to ask about Carroll. There any news of he's just injured. And then David Blatt said that some days it's impossible to win. It seems to be impossible to win when you see its performance as good as your team's. To say something negative is that you go a bit pissed off when you see how the team played, and then you see what happens with the Estudiantes, that it seemed that it was a little more difficult to get into the game. I don't know if you understand that you cannot maintain the level as today's. Each match is a different one, and your opponent plays. We cannot just assess ourselves. I think that in the students today we were not at our best level, and the students were quite well, and they won on Gran Canaria. I believe that the first half we were not well, but we were able to handle. In the second half we did, and we won by 15 points on the second half, and we won. And McAfee's day, I think it was a good day, good match, complex. Like today's match is a different one if I go back. Obviously, I would like to play quite well every day and win by 15 points and go home super happy, but I know that's really difficult because, of course, it's not just what Real Madrid does, but there's another team playing. Today, of course, I leave happy. I knew that we had a difficult week. Christmas was complex, traveling, matches, injuries, JCs, there are no news. We hope that he will be recovered for the week of the FS, if everything goes according to plan. And as I always say, to move forward from this match, no matter of the good and bad things, and to know that we have another match on Sunday against Zaragoza, which is going to be complex and difficult, because these are teams that on the Endesa leagues are very equal, and everyone is playing something. It's important for them. The cup is going down. We know they're going to have a tough work on Sunday. Pablo, congratulations for the win. You were talking about the amount of points, the distribution. When you win Olympiacos, one of the big in Europe, with Jules scoring 3 points, that talks wonders about the team. Real Madrid has had an offensive leader, the great virtues that it's not a clear leader. And second question, after the inquiry from the EuroLeague, where Real Madrid seems to be a clear favourite to go to the Final Four, does that add pressure, remove pressure? Do you think that's normal? For me to have a leader because of his points, I don't like that. I don't. I believe all players have their part of leadership in the team, the importance. For me, I believe that, for instance, today, playing 6 or 7 minutes, Felipe, that was key. Key because of the way he came out, the way he attacked Mexico. We could take a player that was important in the match. So you ask about Sergi, he scored 3 points, and we talk about others, and they are all important. I don't have the feeling that we are a team. We should not be the team that we depend on just one player. We are all clear about that, but they are all very important for us. Therefore, I always put a team first than the players, because everyone thought they could play better today. And the other thing you asked, the inquiry, I always say that to talk about the being the favorite or not doesn't say anything to me. It's fine for me. It's an inquiry, but it doesn't talk to me. The inquiry would assure that I would play Final Four. I would be really happy, but that's not going to qualify me. So it's not neither more pressure nor less pressure. Rafael Castillejo for Segundos Basket. I would like to ask, within this performance, such wonderful on two players, Randolph and Dijk. Randolph was for defensive and Dijk on the defensive. How do you assess that? I believe Gavi had quite a complete match in general. It was important to have a physical presence on the 3 position, knowing that they had Papanikolaou, Tima, Tupac, players that are very physical, and he did quite well. He was able to give us that presence, and I'm happy that he scored 2 out of 2, and that probably gave him confidence in the game. So I'm really happy for Gavi's match. Regarding Anthony's, yeah, probably everyone would highlight today Anthony's match. And I would take against the 3 versus shots on the third quarter. So last question over there. Hello Pablo, congratulations on the win. From the 15 wins you have 15 wins, 3 defeats, and 3 defeats were for 5 or less points, some wins with a lot of distance, like today's. And with this win, you just have 1 less than in the whole of last season. Does that change the way you manage the season? Can you look into the rear mirror more? Can you mold the team in a calm way? Well, I believe you know me a bit, what I think. I'm not very much about results. Of course, I'm happy with the result, and I will always say that. It would be absurd not to be happy about it. No question about sometimes the result will set a pace. I don't know what year it was. From the EuroLeague, we were to the Bayern field in December, and we were fighting for our life because we were nearly getting out. So that, of course, squeezes you, and you have a final in December. We have the feeling that the goals regarding classification, we are fulfilling them. In the EuroLeague especially. In the Liga, we had the goal of being at the Copa del Rey. And close, I don't know if mathematically or not, to be first. No, okay. But it doesn't have to change my planning. I see the players well, I know the schedule we have, and we will maintain the classification for sure. That means that we can have one or others playing or not, it could be. But it's not because we don't want to win that much, of course. Is that all? Okay, thank you.